So we're talking about the patriarchal household, the household that is ruled by a patriarch, a man who is in charge of it. At the center of this household is its important role in society, which is it's like a miniature society in that you have the larger what's called the commonwealth, the nation. At the head of that nation is the king. He's the ruler, right? He's the person in charge. And then you have within it, you have towns, and you have the leaders of the towns that are in charge. You have governors who are the governor of the colony, and they're in charge. Well, but then also at the miniature local level, you have the household. And just like countries have kings and colonies have governors, the household has a patriarch, and that's the person in charge. And just like it's essential for society to be well ordered and well controlled, it's essential for the household to be well ordered, well controlled, to make it function and to allow the greater society to function as well. At the heart of these relationships are the relationships between men and women. Man's most important relationship is to God, and he submits to God. And just like he submits to God, a wife submits to her husband. And so in some ways, the man is the wife to God, and the woman is the wife to the man. There's these levels of submission. The patriarch of the household has a whole bunch of characteristics. First of all, he is the ruler. And this is particularly in New England, Lesotho to the south, but some of the same ideas are there. He should be devout, committed to God. He should have self-control, the ability to do the right thing because of his control over himself. He should not allow someone else to run the household. And he should, of course, have control of the family. So let's say the wife of the family is a gossip, and she's gossiping a lot in town, and that's seen as socially disruptive. They may punish the wife, but more importantly than that, they're going to punish the husband, maybe giving him a fine or something, because he is supposed to be in charge of his wife and making her obey correctly. And if he's not doing that, if he's allowing her to dominate him, then he is failing in his job. And above all, husbands, fathers provide the moral and intellectual guidance that is supposed to guide the family in the proper way of living. So the problem with wives is wives are women. And women aren't like men. Men, according to this way of thinking, are fully developed, self-controlled, rational thinkers who are not led astray by their passions. Women are different. Women lack self-control. Women are led astray by their emotions and their passions. Women are much more sexual than men are. They're the lusty sex. And that makes them easy to be seduced. Women have the curse of Eve, going back to the Garden of Eden where she tempted Adam to eat the apple. And so a wife may have important roles in the family. She may act as what they call the deputy husband when her husband has to be away. She's the one who runs the farm or the business. At the same time, though, she cannot be trusted to operate on her own entirely. She just doesn't have the abilities that would make that possible. And that's part of why widows who no longer have husbands are seen as suspicious and are sometimes identified as witches, because it's all that uncontrolled female emotion, and often widows have some wealth, some money, and that's not under a male control, and that's just not trustworthy. Also part of the household are those lower status people. So enslaved people, are part of the household. Indentured servants are part of the household. But also employed farm workers, girls who might come to work for a while at the farm. Let's say the mother has important skills as a weaver, and so she might bring in some girls who will spend time learning from her how to weave, but also helping her with the weaving. Or apprentices, if there's a craft. All of those young people, and sometimes older people, are part of the household as well. And so it's the patriarch's responsibility to make sure that they are under control, they're not getting up to trouble, they're not creating problems in the community. And so that's the patriarchal household. And it's an extended family, I guess you could see it as. It's not just the husband, wife, children. Husband, wife, children, servants, enslaved people, employees, apprentices, all fit within that household. Theoretically, in a good colonial community, there shouldn't be people living independently who don't have their own farms or businesses. They should be living under the control of their employer as part of their household, so they aren't a threat to it. And so actually in this picture we have all the family there, but also you'll notice there's a lady in the dark brown who's standing there in the background, not part of the fun. That's the servant. Part of the household, but not exactly part of the family.